What's up, everybody? Your old pal Pete from the basement, back again with a segment episode. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody eats some barbecue, drink some beers, stay safe. I am not drinking yet because I have to drive out to my aunt's. Happy birthday, Aunt Terry. Happens to be today, Saturday, and that's why we have a segment episode, because I got to get my ass out to Long Island as fast as possible. But before I do, got a couple of books to review for you. I want to give a big thanks to the 824 Wee Parker for hitting us up on our YouTube channel, and he picked up Books of Doom on our recommendation, and he really loved it. Guys, seriously, Books of Doom is one of the best Dr. Doom stories you could ever read. He said he was also trying to pick up Truimph and Torment, but that's a tough book to find, man, and it can get expensive for a good copy. As far as I know, they've never done a reprint, but you know, with iPads and everything, and a lot of shit going digital, you may want to try to find a downloadable copy just to read it, because that would be kind of fun. I don't know, how the iPads and stuff work and the Marvel apps and stuff, but there's people electronically smarter than me out there, so there's some forums you could probably reach out to. I'll do my best to search it out and see if maybe it is available on one of those apps, and I'll let you guys know. Wee Parker also wanted to know if we knew of any Wonder Woman trades that were really good. He was trying to get into the character. Brother, I actually don't know too much about Wonder Woman as far as to tell you specific stories. So I'd like to turn that question over to the fans. Are there any hardcore Wonder Woman fans out there? And if you are, can you list or recommend any trades that, our buddy here, 824, could get into, or that we could get into? Thank you, Ramon. We can read the trades and possibly review it for you guys. Let us know what you think. You know the drill, guys. Hit us up. questions@petesbasement.com, facebook.com/petesbasement. Follow us on Twitter for, constant reviews, and, go follow our YouTube channel, too. Just hunt us down, man. Find us, and we always love hearing from you guys. Really do. This week I picked up the first Animal Man, Strange Adventures, issue 180. I got this little baby in pretty good condition for just about 16 bucks. Kind of a steal in a little lonely, untouched auction. So I got lucky there. That book can usually run anywhere between 50 and 80 bucks for like a really nice copy. I've seen a couple on eBay for over 100 bucks, but they are what I call stagnant auctions. Those are just greedy assholes who list the shit like, I don't know why the fuck they do it. It's a waste of 10 cents every time you list the auction, but they're just not going nowhere. Nobody's buying shit for that price. Not in this economy, It doesn't happen that way. Let's get on to this week's books. I guess the biggest thing that popped out this week was Youngblood #1. And as far as I'm concerned, someone should pop it back in. Honestly, I never really read Youngblood back in the day, so I have no frame of reference for how this pertains to the other the other series or the previous incarnation. They do make a lot of references to the old team, and they make a lot of references to some of the old stories that, there was one little side blurb from the editor, like, hey, remind us to tell you about this one time they were fighting some fungus or something. I don't know. I found the book kind of a struggle to get into, and, not because I went in with a bias or a prejudice, but I kind of did. The artwork was Liefeld. It is what it is. He did learn to draw feet in general proportion. They still look like those little diamond-shaped triangle things. But the one thing I really did not like was there was one point where this Wolfsbane feral-looking character, whose name escapes me at the moment, he stops these would-be bank robbers. He takes their guns away, and he's like, "Thanks for the guns, stupid." And yes, I am referencing the most popular viral video right now. Check it out on www.youtube.com. First of all, who talks like that? If I ever tell my friends to go check out a funny-ass video or something cool on YouTube, I will simply say, yo, check that out on YouTube. That's all. I do not have to write www. It's not a fucking hyperlink in a comic book. I don't need to see www dot, motherfucker. That's one. And two, and they're like, and the dude was like, did you really just reference a website? Like, yeah, man, government sponsorship, corporate sponsorship is how we make our money, this and that. Ah! Fuck! Shit! That was stupid and terrible! It made my fucking brain hurt. Did you really just say that? And honestly, I have no idea what video that they're even talking about. And if you had an idea of what video it was before you read Youngblood, that's fine. But if you read Youngblood and you went onto YouTube and looked it up, punch yourself in the fucking dick. Do it right now. I'll wait for you. There. Now do you feel better? God, that turned me off immediately. And right after, that was in like the first 2 pages. And after that, there's a new Shaft in town. He like the other guy retired or quit. And now they're giving this young guy, this Youngblood dude, shit because, he's the youngin' and they're more experienced. Nobody follows him even though he's automatically the team leader. Like what happened to the Iron Man looking motherfucker that, maybe he's the oldest guy on the team. He should have been the leader. And then right at the end, everybody's like, hey, what happened to Bedrock? And he's like lying on a table. It looks like he's got a break in his fucking rock skin or something. I don't care. I just didn't fucking care. If you liked Youngblood, if you read it and you enjoyed it, feel free to yell at me. I don't care. Hit us up. You know the drill. We always like to hear from you, and we like dissenting opinions. It, keeps it alive. Let us know we're not talking to robots out there. Also, out this week was this book called Resident Alien. Basically, this alien crash lands into this Midwestern town, and the populace just kind of accepts this. I guess we're past the point of shock, and he's just trying to exist. He's like the doctor, and everybody just calls him Harry. And there's now some murders going on in the town, and I just really wasn't that interested in it. I tried. I gave it a shot. It was a #1, and just didn't. I don't know. Couldn't get into it. Did you guys read Resident Alien? If so, what'd you think? Another #1 out this week, Godzilla. I guess Volume 2, #1. Pretty much exactly the same hokey shit as the first Godzilla book. I don't see that a Godzilla book should be that difficult to write, but they're always making it about like the people running away from Godzilla. The artwork, okay, the artwork on the people and the buildings falling apart and everything around it was. But the artwork of the monsters, of Godzilla specifically, like check out this big ass double-page spread. And it looks a lot like the cover of the book. But that artwork, the artwork on Godzilla is good. The artwork on, I think it was Rodan, and they showed Mothra and this other giant spider who I don't think was ever a Godzilla villain. I think they just wanted to draw a giant spider. That was cool. But everywhere else the artwork suffers. And to me, that's going to make a story suffer pretty often. But the story was just like about this dude who was trying to rescue this little 15-year-old daughter of a billionaire from a skyscraper that was getting hit by Godzilla. And the girl was, all of a sudden, she was like, oh my god, it's Godzilla attacking? You could have told me that. Well, fuck, bitch, there's buildings collapsing all around you. What did you think was happening? Fuck, didn't you hear that? That fucking noise that he makes? I can't do it. But, I mean, really now. And at the end, the girl dies by getting shot by some redneck assholes who think their pop guns are going to hurt Godzilla. They're shooting missiles at him, and these guys think that their guns are going to stop him. And they accidentally shoot the girl, because she's right in front of them, and they're aiming up, and she gets shot. And then the dude that's like the Jason Statham looking motherfucker that's supposed to be protecting her, he just picks her up and walks away, instead of trying to kill the redneck assholes. I don't know, like, I felt that was stupid. And, I don't know, there was a gay marriage thing in the beginning in Mexico, like, it looked like some crime lord or whatever was getting married, and, then him and the Jason Statham motherfucker, like, his wedding got crashed by the giant spider, and then Jason Statham, he calls him at the end, like, yo, Irving, what are you doing? We're gonna team up and beat Godzilla because we're 2 human beings, and we're gonna beat Godzilla, the fucking 50-story giant Tyrannosaurus-looking lizard. Makes perfect sense. And on this subject, the Astonishing X-Men is coming out next month. There's been a lot of talk and a lot of controversy over the whole gay wedding thing in Marvel, and now DC's gonna have a character come out of the closet. From what I have read, it's supposed to be an established character, but who has not been introduced to the new DCU. So anybody who thinks it might be Batman, probably not. And that would, it wouldn't happen. Not with the movie coming out. Too much controversy, and they wouldn't risk the movie sales. The fact of the matter is, I have no problem with the concept of 2 people getting married. I think everybody should be allowed to be as miserable as the rest of us. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think it should be used as a fucking gimmick. That's stupid. Like, I don't know. That to me is what Marvel and DC, and now, they just did it with Godzilla from IDW. It's a fucking gimmick. All of a sudden it's everywhere because it gets attention. Stop it. have some fucking respect. That's all I gotta say. No Place Like Home, issue 4. This was a book I took a chance on a while back, and I'm really glad I did, and I'm really glad I stuck with it. The flying monkey just goes ape shit in this. He's fucking just beating the shit out of people. He's stabbing people. He's biting everybody. And it looks like the monkey is a lot more intelligent in this book than it was in The Wizard of Oz. There's no mention of Oz or the Evil Queen. There's only that this thing came down from the tornado. And we see a small glimpse of Oz and the rest of the monkey army in the last splash page here, where he kidnapped some girl and he just tore off these 2 old people's heads. Yo, Monkey's gangsta. Monkey is awesome. I'm going to be rooting for the flying monkey by next issue because I just don't have too much love for the people at this point. I would like the story to move along at a faster pace. Next issue is going to conclude the first arc, and at this point I'm probably going to stick around for the second one and see what's going on. Angelo Torroto, Richard Jordan, you've done a good job. I am enjoying this book. I didn't think I was going to by the first issue, but I'm glad I stuck around. And I would recommend this. It's something different. It's cool. From Dynamite, Lord of the Jungle Annual, #1. I have been reading Lord of the Jungle. The original book is taking place a little bit more along the lines of the original story of The Legend of Greystoke. Tarzan is in the jungle. He's, the Lord of the Apes. He doesn't speak much. He writes what he thinks is English and stuff. And this book takes it in a totally different direction. Like, all of a sudden he's kidnapped by, these poachers or whatever, and he's made to wrestle and, fight in tournaments, and all of a sudden he's speaking perfect English and stuff. There's one cool scene where he's fighting this, like, Crusher Hogan type of guy, and he just bites his throat out and, rips this guy's fucking throat out. But it doesn't fit with what's going on with the rest of the story. And for that, I say skip it. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time or your money. Let's move on to DC real quick. Flash #9, Flash versus Gorilla Grodd. I was waiting for this one. This is pretty much a standalone story. The Flash, remember last issue, he was fighting that dude Turbine or whatever. I think it was Turbine. Maybe he was fighting. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But he got like warped into Gorilla City through the Speed Force. Oh, that's right. He was trying to stop Captain Cold. He was going too fast. Warped into Gorilla City. Right, now I remember. So he lands in Gorilla City. Grodd is trying to take over, and the Flash is apparently part of the prophecy that Grodd does not want to come true. And it's Flash versus Grodd, fun story. Well, pretty much a standalone issue, and we'll see where, there's going to be a new arc starting next time around. I'm still pretty much enjoying this. It's got its ups and downs. It's not anything special, but if you're a Flash fan, yeah, it's all right. It's all right for a Flash fan. I wouldn't recommend it as for somebody who isn't familiar with the character, who doesn't give a shit. It's not out of this world. Aquaman 9. I want to end on a cool note. This story, The Others, introduces Black Manta and a bunch of other people, and we just kind of... Black Manta is like Aquaman's arch nemesis, and we find out in this one... I'm not going to spoil this for you. The big fight between Aquaman and Black Manta is going to happen in next issue. There's a big-ass reveal at the end of here. We find out why Black Manta hates Aquaman. If you're not reading Aquaman, you should be. Don't discount it, because it's Aquaman. Jeff Johns is doing an amazing job with this character. I wish they turned him over to Batman. Like, Night of the Owls is cool, but I'd like to see what Jeff Johns can do with a character that's already badass. Like, he turned Morts, like Green Lantern and fucking Aquaman especially, and even the Flash, into awesome characters. Just let this guy loose, like, more often than not, he hits rather than miss. A couple of things, have been hokey, but... And the only thing I really complain about is that he always bitches out Batman in every fucking issue. Like, he has people punk Batman, and that's not cool. Like, because Batman's Batman as far as I'm concerned. But, yeah, man. Get on Aquaman. That's it. Alright, I got some beer and some food to get to. So, guys, I'm going to turn you over to the rest of the boys for some Marvel reviews and whatever other books are going on this week. I am still playing catch-up. I have a lot of books to catch up on. I'm doing my best, but I will be there soon, and we'll be back with a roundtable next week. So, until then, hit us up, man. We want to hear from you. Take it easy.
All right, so happy Memorial Day, everybody. Hope you be safe out there. Well, it's Tuesday, that means you already had your Memorial Day celebration. So I hope you were safe out there. Pete Ramon, we're talking about this week's haul. How do I know that? Well, because I'm the editor and I already watched it. Now, they were trying to strong arm me into reviewing Youngbloods. Now, I never read Youngbloods. I don't read Youngbloods. For me to review Youngbloods would not make any sense. So, Well, and that wasn't direct to Pete Ramon. This was directed to the prospect of reading Youngbloods. I would never do that to Pete Ramon. They're my friends. So, I'm talking about, or I will talk about, Fantastic Four in Search of Galactus, as I promised a few months or weeks ago, whatever it was. My good friend Pete, who you may know, he has his own show in the basement. He got me this for Christmas, and I was able to read it, so I'm going to talk about this. But first, I want to talk about, there's a kid in Salem, Massachusetts, Anthony Smith. He's deaf in one, he's 4 years old, deaf in one ear, severe hearing loss in the other ear. He has to wear a hearing aid. And his mom, Christina D'Alessandro, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, was trying to get him the comics, which every mother should, with their children. And he was like, "Ma, I don't find anything relatable about these characters. I don't see any superheroes wearing hearing aids, so you can go take a hike." I'm sure he wasn't that articulate, but so basically he didn't find it. He didn't want to read it. Kind of comics. So his mom contacted Marvel about this, and to their credit, they created this character, Blue Ear, I think. And now, from what the story says, this Anthony loves comics. He can't get enough. His mom can't get him to stop reading comics, which is awesome. So, at 4 years old, he's already a nerd. So, about 15 more years or so, he'll be 19. And by then, he'll be a complete geek and probably reading everything comic book related. And maybe by the time he's 19, he'll be old enough to watch the 20th season of Pete's Basement, which I'm sure they will have gotten rid of me, kicked me off the show years before that. So I think that's cool. Okay, so Fantastic Four in Search of Galactus. It collects issues. Oh, it's right here. Collects issues 204 to 214. So it's 10 issues. I'm pretty good with the math, right? So I think it's from like 1978 or 79. So basically what happens is, I'm going to spoil it, so if I'm going to tell the whole story, so if you don't know what the story, if you want to read it but not know the story, just pass over this segment, which I assume most people do anyway. They probably watch Pete and go right to Ramon. So, but, okay, Johnny Storm's having some issues. He wants to go off on his own and try to find himself, so to speak. So he leaves the crew just for a little while. Says, "I'll catch up with you guys." Sue, Reed, and the Thing. He's going through some science stuff, looking through using his ion rays and everything like that. And this person from the world Xandar accidentally comes in and is asking for help because the Skrulls are trying to take over her planet. Now, her planet's already been destroyed prior to their involvement, and split into 4 different places, 4 secret places, then connected by conduits and stuff like that. Now the Skrulls are trying to destroy it completely, take the energy from the planet, I believe. So Reed, Sue, and Ben go up to help them, and Johnny is still on Earth. He wants he was very young when they became when they got their powers. He wanted to kind of be human a little bit. So there's a story with him involving the Monocle. And Spidey gets involved, so that's a little side B story, but that gets wrapped up pretty quickly within a few issues. So basically what happens is the rest of them are trying to help these Xandar people. I think I'm pronouncing it right, Xandar. The Skrulls capture them, Fantastic 3, and shoot them with these age rays. So now Sue, Ben, and Reed are aging very quickly. In a few days time, they'll be dead just from old age. So, but they get involved with Nova and the New Champions, and Nova was a relatively new character at this time. The New Champions is kind of a name. But you have the Sphinx on it, and you have Diamondhead. I understand the idea behind the character's powers, but Diamondhead, I mean, come on. I guess you can't win them all. So they get involved, and now on this planet Xandar, whenever you're a citizen, everybody who dies, their consciousness, or physically their brains, get put into this living computer. So everyone's memories and everyone's thoughts are salvaged. Now the Sphinx, who's on this team at this point, he has an ulterior motive, and he finally sees this as an opportunity to get access to this. And when he does, in his powers, he becomes like a god. So now they have the Skrull issue, which the New Champions are going to take care of, and now it's the Sphinx, which they all try to battle at the same time, and nobody's strong enough. The Fantastic Four and the New Champions and the people of Xandar cannot do it. So who do they have to enlist? Who's the most powerful person they know, or entity they know? Galactus. So it reads like we got to find Galactus. Hence the name, In Search of Galactus. So they find Galactus, and Galactus eventually defeats the Sphinx. But in order to do that, he enlists a new herald, who's Terrax the Tamer, who is first comes about in this story, and he takes there was an agreement that Galactus wasn't going to feed on Earth, but now reads like, I take that back, just help us. So he's like, sure, I'll do it. So, but eventually, he's about to do it again, about to, rescind his promise and feed on the Earth's energies. But Reed bluffs him with an ultimate nullifier again, and it's not real; it's like a fake one. But Galactus takes a bluff and leaves. So, but they're at this point, three of them are aging to the point where they're about to die, and Johnny Storm has to figure out to reverse that, and he does, and everything's fine. But so that's the story in a nutshell. So, but I just wanted to bring up a few things that I thought were cool. There are certain interactions with the rest of the Marvel Universe that they either try to have or they do have, including Nova and the New Champions. And it seems like it's good. It's the continuity is done well. Like in the very beginning, I think Johnny Storm's trying to find his friends, like Spidey and people like that. And he says, oh, Spidey's not around because he's currently fighting the Rhino and Amazing Spider-Man, blah, blah, blah. So it seems like they were doing continuity well still at that point. Aside from Terrax the Tamer, it's also the first appearance of Herbie. Now, they do kind of break the fourth wall and mention the Fantastic Four cartoon, which Herbie came on first. He's first on the cartoon, then he came into the comic. But the Thing automatically hates Herbie, and which is funny. And the Thing, he's just nothing but comic relief, which is what he always has been. Everything comes out of his mouth is snide and sarcastic and funny. There's a lot hard to choose one, but I think the best line in the thing that in the story that he said, it just struck me as really funny. He's like really hurt, and he says, "I ain't so sure about that, Susie," because she says, "You're both alive." Talking about him and Reed. He said, "I ain't so sure about that, Susie. I got pains in places I didn't even know I had places." It's just funny. So, and the story was very, very linear. It also has Monocle in it, because Monocle, there's a whole B story with Johnny Storm and he's still on Earth in the Monocle. But that gets wrapped up with a few issues, and then Johnny Storm joins the rest of the team on Xandar. But it was just a good linear story. This happens, you got the Skrulls and Xandar, then you have the Sphinx issue, and then you have Galactus comes into place, and then you have the aging thing. Like, it's just nice and linear. It's not like, Another cool thing, which I noticed they don't really do anymore, is, like, I guess for an example, if, let's say Johnny said, okay, Reed, we have to figure out how we're going to convince these people to help us. and then they'll have like now they would probably have show you how they try to convince them to help them. You know, with dialogue, and if it was Bendis, it'd be nothing but dialogue. But like here, they would do something like 5 minutes later, and then they would just move on to the next thing. Like they wouldn't explain every little thing, which I like. You don't have to explain everything, every little scientific little, and you don't need to do it. And which is good because here it just moves the story along, which is why you read it. You read it for the story. You don't read it for every little explanation of any scientific problem. I understand you want to keep things as realistic as possible, and you want to go, okay, that explains that. You don't want to make things so crazy that it defies explanation. But you don't have to explain everything. You don't have to just fill a comic book up with just endless prattling on. Just you can have something that will go 3 minutes later. They move to the thing, and they did that quite a bit in these issues, which I liked. It just moves the story along. But overall, if you like Fantastic Four, and if you like if you like comics, if you like cosmic stuff, you'll like it. What was I gonna say? Excuse me. I'm not a big cosmic guy. I like the Fantastic Four, and they're mostly cosmic stuff, and I enjoy it. But overall, like if it's just nothing but cosmic, and I can't get into it. But when you have something cosmic in relation to like the Fantastic Four, or someone else who is grounded in on Earth, or grounded in something that's not cosmic, like the Fantastic Four, because they're humans, they started out on Earth and they live on Earth. It makes it easier for me to kind of get into it. But if it's nothing but like aliens, the whole thing, it's too much. Like I can't get into it. But that's it. So if there's anything I missed, I don't know. But again, it's called Fantastic Four and Search of Galactus. It's about a 10-issue story from like 1979. I would get it. It's a fun story, and that's why we read comics, for funness. I'm making up words now. So we'll see you next time.
Memorial Day weekend segments. Are you surprised? Really? Anyways, let's begin. It's a pretty week. Just was. I don't know. Nothing really spectacular came out this week. A couple of good books, but nothing really. Whoa, Anyways, first up from Abstract Studios, we have Rachel Rising #8, Terry Moore. Now, it's not Jump One friendly, obviously. It's issue 8. The first story arc is already over, and it's not really over. Terry Moore stuff is usually one big old story. But the first trade is out, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Seriously, pick it up. This is good. It just picks up from the last story arc. It's continuing more of the dead. They're not zombies, but they're not vampires, nothing like that. It's just different, and it's just good. Good. I like this book a lot. I was surprised I missed it when it first came out, but I quickly caught on. Next we have Frustration of the Week. Abstract, I think, is book of the week. I'll let you know. Frustration of the Week is Dark Horse Comics Resident Alien, #1 of 3. But there was a 0 issue. And the first thing you see when you open up the first page is read 0 issue first. I don't have it. I couldn't find it. I'm not a happy person. That said, this is really, it's okay at best. It's just quirky little alien thing. That's what it is. Honestly, it's, yeah. Good book of the week. Not the book of the week. I still think is Rachel Rising. But anyways, Aquaman #9. Aquaman has truly been redesigned for the better. Turns out he's a bit of a badass so far in this. And Justice League, they're not really showing anything. But whatever. Spoiler alert, he killed Black Manta's father, giving Black Manta plenty of reason to be upset at him, and if you know the history in the regular old DC universe, you know, Black Manta gave him plenty of reasons to hate him. So it's interesting how they're doing this. And Aquaman's also something of a ladies' man. There's Mara, who his current redhead chick, and then he has an assistant aside. You know, he's trying to be faithful. Hey, oh. Batman Incorporated #1. You see, here we go. High, low, high, low. This is a low. Oh, I don't know. Grant Morrison, I hate you. First of all, you publicly say that Batman is gay. Okay, then you kind of backtrack on that and you say he's not really gay, but he's kind of sort of gay. And whatever. I don't want to get into this whole gay shit. I think it is what it is. If you're going to have gay characters, then just let them be gay. Don't make a big shit out of it. Who cares? I mean, obviously a lot of people do. They're making a stink out of it, but anyways, off topic. Grant Morrison, you suck balls. There you go. I said it. And I don't mean in a gay way. I mean you just suck balls. Leviathan, this whole super secret evil group, and you know, people with weird little freaking masks, and you know, Damien floating around. You know, spoiler alert, he gets shot. But, you know, my luck is he's not going to die. Oh. Good book. Green Lantern and New Guardians #9. Invaded by the Reach. Now, if you know who the Reach are, let me know, because I don't. All I know is that they're what's said in this book. They're aliens, yada yada. They conquer, they keep on moving. They have the Blue Beetle's armor on. And obviously they use it substantially better than the Blue Beetle does. That said, they're attacking the Blue Lantern's home world, and Blue Lanterns are pretty much defenseless pussies. So let's see if the other Guardians come to their rescue. It doesn't happen. The cover shows it, but it doesn't happen in this yet. Let's see. I don't want the Blue Lanterns to go away, by the way. I like the Blue Lanterns. Interesting little creation they have there. iVampire #9. Good book. Cute cover. Bite, Pray, Love. It's continuing off the last story arc in which he's leading the whole vampire nation, and in Utah of all places, and he's trying to keep them under control, but they're eating cows, and you know, who wants to survive strictly off of cattle, especially when you're a vampire, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Good book. I'm just really worried that DC's gonna drop the ball on some of these shits. iVampire being one of them. Justice League Dark being another one. Justice League Dark, #9, new members. I don't think there are any official members to this. It's basically people with magic need help, or something in the magic world's acting up. A gathering happens. Some of the same members here and there. Some of them are different. Whatever. The head vampire from iVampire's in this, as well as Zatanna, Deadman, Constantine, a few other characters, including Steve Trevor from Justice League, which is interesting. He's a much more visible character in the DC universe now. That aside, it's a good book, but it's again, I'm just worried. It is a good book, you'll appreciate it. It's just, will DC drop the ball on this? Okay. The DC universe into Image, Witchblade number 156. It's a standalone issue for now. I think in the future they might go back to it, but she's in Chicago now, so they're trying the whole supernatural side of things in Chicago, and peace like this actually. But it's really interesting with the ghost world, and there was something extra. There's the ghost world, and then there's something else is going on there that wasn't fully revealed. She just touched on a little bit, and that's it. So I'm assuming that'll be picked up as series goes on. Wow, it's really close to 200. Anyways, moving along. Okay, this is a major down for me. In comic books are a lot of things. Comic book is art, because it does show the time, how the world is at any moment. It's also fantasy. It's comics are everything, right? But Sometimes comic books don't push their luck. They don't do certain things. They don't go back in time and undo September 11th. You know, some things you don't do. And in this issue, Fantastic Four 626, they cured their mailman, doorman. I forget who he is. Anyways, I was so distracted by what they did. They cured him of cancer. They went into him and hacked off a tumor that just was literally killing him. No, I disagree with this. Let me know what you guys think. You know how to reach us. All this right here, the information floating around my head. Steve, put it up. That's how you reach us. The Fantastic Four cured a friend of cancer. Okay, you know, that's cute. That's nice. It comes in handy knowing the Fantastic Four. I would assume nobody's gonna pick on you because you get the thing to back you up. You know, but now what? What happens if Bob, $2 down the street, has cancer? I mean, are you gonna cure them? Is the Fantastic Four gonna get out of the fantastic business and become doctors fighting cancer? It's you know, I personally didn't like it. I'm curious to know what you guys thought, but I just no. And the last book I'm reviewing, Secret Avengers number 27. Captain Marvel is back. The first one, the original one, the man himself. Why? Because the Phoenix Force? Somehow he's associated with that, and now he's Phoenix Force empowered. You know, he's beating up on an injured Thor, and the Avengers, and making out with Carol Danvers, who's supposed to get her own issue this Miss Marvel. Oh, Jesus. Oh, you know, he died of cancer. Where the fuck were the Fantastic Four then? That aside, this book was crap too. Don't care for it. Don't care for Captain Britain on the team. Don't care for the Beast, quite frankly. You know, just all that and Youngblood came out this week too. I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm in such a low area that I'm thinking about Youngblood. I'm not reviewing that. I passed through it. The art, Liefeld, your art has not changed. You have not grown as an artist. And I'm sorry, I am not an artist. But damn, dude. Damn. It's just... whatever. Just, I don't know. There's not a... Next Wednesday cannot come soon enough. I haven't even looked at what's coming out next Wednesday. That's how miserable I've been with these books this week. Rachel Rising, book of the week. It really is a good book. I'm not saying it enthusiastically because really, you're the Fantastic Four and you're knocking out a tumor. You know, solve AIDS. You know, feed the homeless where you're at it, mother. You know, there's some things you just don't do. You just, that's it. See you next week.
Alright. Memorial Day weekend, got some bitches barbecue and beer to get to. Well, we're kind of all over the place and that sucked. We're gonna try that again. Woosah, woosah, woosah.
Okay.
All right, I turned the fan off just so there's no sound. It's very hot in here, so let's make this quick. And maybe in 15 years we'll be watching Pete's Basement season 25. Right? 15 plus 5 is 20. 20, season 20. I'll be long gone, but hopefully Pete will still be hosting the show. Let's do that again.
Punch yourself in the fucking dick. Do it right now. I'll wait for you.